Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the EverythingPadel podcast. This podcast is all going to be about tips on how to improve, stories from the court, the growth of the sport in general, and also stuff on the professional side of the game as well. So I am your main host, Ewan, and I'm joined today by Jake Bewley, who's my co-host.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
Are you excited, first of all?
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this for a while now, and it's been in our plans to try and grow this and try and start it as well.
Did you want to give a little bit of background just to the audience of, because I think most people watching this probably have an idea of who I am, just because you probably come from Everything Padel. So I run Everything Padel myself, which is an online store. We do rackets, clothing, equipment, but also got my own YouTube channel as well. We make just general paddle content. Jake?
Yeah, I play paddle professionally, and I coach in a club called Rocket Padel Ilford, and I've been playing for we've been playing now for like 6-7 years.
Yeah,
it's been a long time, and yeah, it's a good little journey competing abroad.
It's been an amazing journey, like to see both of us where we've gone. Like from I literally remember the first time you come on court with me.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I think you'll be able to definitely bring a lot of insight from maybe more of the professional side of the game, your experience in these high-ranking tournaments.
I'm hoping that we've got a good little mix going on here.
So that kind of leads me into the first topic, which is your tournament this weekend. So you competed, was it a FIP?
It was a FIP bronze, and I played with a Finnish player called Axel.
Did you play with him before?
I played with him in Stratford in the FIP, and we did well there, so we thought we'll try again. We drew two Dutch guys, good players. One of them, Ids, who's got around 50 points, which is really good in the FIP kind of rankings. Yeah. We got unfortunate there, lost 6-4, 6-2. Not our best day at all. And I really couldn't really handle the speed of the balls and the new pace. Like, that's the one thing I'm learning is, man, these international tournaments are like
big smashes.
Yeah, that's full paddle balls. It's quick. Like, you don't get time to play your slow game like you do in England, where all the balls
Can't nudge it.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically you've got to be playing really good, like off your tits, or you don't really play well at all. And that's what I'm finding. But that's good. I'm looking forward to playing more. I've got Lithuania next week with George Weller, a good high-ranked.
Who's playing what side for that?
I'll be playing right. I'm going to try and play right for most of my tournaments this year, try and set that as my side. I will play left a bit, but I'm looking forward to it.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like one of your main strengths I've always felt is that I feel that, I know we all have off days, but in a tournament, I feel you perform like at your best a lot of the time. Like I see, like when we train together or have casual matches, you're like 60, 70, and then the tournament, you managed to hit 100%.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that yourself?
I think I try and get a feeling for the ball in the tournament. Like, that's the main thing. And then once I get a feel for it, for me, it's just adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like the intensity
you
is
get
like
that just.
Yeah, and
get
it's
it.
Intense, like
Rhythm.
Soon as you start shouting as well, like, I love a shout. That gets me going like massively. And my partners normally are, like, when I play with Theo a lot, one of my favorite players to play with, he's a big shouter. Both get pumped. So that's normally why we play well together, is because we're both so up for it. But no, I think it definitely helps getting up for it, but it can also be a downside. Like, you see these guys in the higher ranks of the international tournaments don't shout, don't get up.
Or like George Weller, for example.
Yeah, it's complete opposite of me.
Because recently myself and my partner Aston, we played a tournament together. We played a grade 2 in Leeds, and we played against George Weller and his partner Jamie, and they just did not react. Every single point was the exact same, and like that's something I didn't like it that much, because you couldn't tell if they were thinking, we're completely fine here, this is easy, or if they were actually a little bit stressed when you're putting the pressure on. You didn't know if they had another gear. Whereas, sometimes maybe if you play against a shouter, you can tell what 100%. Their mood is. Yeah. So you can really play on that momentum. So
I think George is a good example for juniors coming through to look at and try and play like him, and the way that his style of calmness and being relaxed, but not obviously too relaxed that you're now not intense. But
so how are you going to navigate that? Are you going to try and do the calm gimmick, or like?
I think I'm getting better at it. As I start to get older, I'm understanding that, I mean, being intense for sometimes it'll be a 2-hour match is very difficult.
You'll go through. Otherwise, you just go through periods.
Exactly. Right now, I'm going like up, down, up, down, up, down. I just want to get to that kind of steady phase, which is going to take time. But playing with players like George will help. But I think I will when I need to, and when I need to get up for it, because it definitely intimidates the other team massively. If you've got, with big lumps, like you got 2 big lumps shouting at you basically every point, like you definitely feel that when someone does it to you, and you think, oh, just fuck off, mate, like leave me alone for a second, because you just feel that constant pressure. So I do like it in that sense as well. But on the other hand, trying to keep your composure is also important. So I think what we'll do is a few points when we need to, on the big points, we'll try and get up for it. And then, when it's kind of the ones where we just need to get the game going, get into the game, build the points, we'll just try and stay calm. And we'll see how it goes.
So do you get nervous? Because obviously you traveled a long way over the weekend to get to this place. Does that make it even harder?
Yeah. There's a lot of, I definitely feel the pressure of playing internationally, because not even that, I don't mind traveling, like, it doesn't bother me, but it's traveling and feeling like right now, one of the worst players in the tournament, in that main draw, because basically I try and get main draw for most tournaments in the FIPS, because then you guarantee the points. That's one of my main things to look at. Will I get main draw? Yes, I'll go. So that's my thought process.
I remember one time you told me, I think, because for me, myself, I always feel like I play 80, 90%, maybe even 100% my best when we're doing training or like a match. And then the tournament, maybe occasionally, but most of the time I feel like I'm hitting 60, 70%. I'm never feeling like I'm reaching the top. And one of the reasons is that kind of like tight feeling where you're not fully going for your shots. And I remember one time you told me, I don't know who it was, maybe it was a coach out in Spain, he told you something about how he can't help you improve if you...
Yes.
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah. So well, this actually came from Sam Jones, the number 2, but
number 2 UK, yeah.
Yes, yeah, not in the world. Sorry, yeah. he wishes he was number 1 in the world, yeah. Well, don't we all? But yeah, he said when he gets into a tournament, because Sam in training is unbelievable, like one of the best players, and when he gets into a tournament, obviously everyone gets tight and starts to kind of feel the nerves a bit more. So he starts to maybe nudge a little bit, which hit flatter, not hit his shots, not feel confident.
I find I'm like constantly placing everything rather than just like ripping
going for it. Yeah. And he said, look, Sam, I can't fix you nudging the ball, you changing your technique to get the ball in. I can't fix that. I can fix if you go for it.
He can tell you what goes wrong with that technique.
Yeah. And then you can fix it from there. And that was a massive thing for me that I tell most of my clients as well. It's like, when you get nervous, they love the competitive matches on Playtomic, and they get a little bit nervous because it's their ranking and stuff like that. And that's what excites me about the competitive levels of sport. But I try and tell them, like, when I watch you play, go for it, and I can tell you exactly what you're doing wrong. And
but if you're nudging, it's hard to see what went wrong. Yeah.
So basically, when I played in this tournament in Netherlands, I was really nervous. Just because it was a chance, we had a chance to basically win. You very rarely get one of these draws in the international tournaments where you get a chance to win. So it was like, oh, we're playing 2 Dutch guys. They're not seeded. I don't really know them too well, but I've heard from other people that it's winnable, which is very rare in a FIP main draw that you have a winnable match. I mean, every match is winnable, but you know what I mean, that higher chance to win. So you start to put pressure on yourself. Oh, I've got to win. I've got to prove a point. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to try and forget about that, play my game. I'm going to go for everything. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I've tried everything. So I was swinging quite big, like trying different things, and missing a lot of easy balls. But I think for where I am in my career right now, that's going to be a big step to hopefully try and solidify my kind of like playing style and be able to play free every time and play good. So I'm excited for what's coming up in the future of my level and seeing how that grows.
I'm excited to see, like, I've always thought just in 5 years time, because you're still so young as well, you're only 20,
21
21 now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to see how like where the sport is going to go in a few more years as well.
Yeah, hopefully the Olympics.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
and a lot more clubs in the UK as well, which links me on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Which is a couple of weeks ago, visited, in my opinion, what were the 10 best paddle clubs in the UK. Which first of all was so much fun to travel around and go to all these clubs. Like it was like
Meeting
the
new
dream.
people.
Yeah, people were like saying afterwards, like, oh, all this driving, like, oh, it must have been a lot of work. But I was like, that was my week. Like you guys had to do like a normal 9 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
I just got to literally just drive around the country visiting a paddle club. Like it was so easy and it was so much fun.
Did you find the levels? Because you played matches, right?
Played a match at every single club, which is good.
Did you find like the level difference, obviously leaving London?
Yeah, a little bit. It was so I think on Playtomic, a level 4 in London is a lot stronger than up north. Just you've got a lot less players, less coaches and everything. There's so much newer to all of it. Like there's all these amazing centres, but they've been open like 4 months. But it is honestly exploding up there now. So visited Rocket Ilford, which is your club.
My club, yeah.
And also visited Square One in Ashford.
Your top 2, right?
Which were the
spoilers there, sorry.
Number 2 and number 1. Yeah, make sure to watch the video if you haven't already.
Yeah, good little video. I know a lot of people at the club have watched it.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Did anyone say anything about me putting Ilford 2?
I think like the view on it was like, first of all, I love Ilford. Like we were
I do love Ilford as well.
We were texting about it saying like, when you're associated to a club, you feel like you have to defend that club with your life. So I probably will throughout this podcast. But so a lot of people at Ilford were saying like, you can see why Square One has been picked, but the argument was like, they're not in London.
Yeah,
they're in Kent.
I know.
So it was like, it's hard because obviously Ilford's the largest centre in London.
And like when they have tournaments there,
yeah,
it's amazing. Everyone comes from everywhere to Ilford.
Yeah.
Not really going to get that at Square One.
No, never.
I didn't want to take that into account because I thought it was unfair to say amazing club, but you're in Kent. Sorry, because could you not argue that any club in London, even if it's like 4 or 5 courts indoors, not great, is just better than anything else?
Yeah, it's
didn't
tough,
want to
isn't
upset
it?
people that live in Kent. You're shit because you live in Kent.
Yeah. It's tough, isn't it? Because it's all subjective as well. Like, it's. I think you've done it the best way possible. It was just like the pricing as well. Obviously, Canary Wharf like gets massively downgraded because of pricing. Like
one thing I messed up was I didn't clarify that the prices were per person. So not many people thought it was that bad. They saw the £20 and thought, oh, it's £5. And then a few people clocked that I meant per person. And they were shocked because in Spain it's like €3 or €4 to play.
Mental, isn't it?
It's like nothing.
Yeah.
And so they're just like stunned when they see these crazy prices. And in the UK at the moment, in general, at these clubs, some of it's like an experience that you might do once every 2 months.
Yeah.
Because the average person can't spend £20 every day playing.
And they play at their local club. For like, I know a lot of people play at Bishop Stortford. I believe that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And they play there, and then they come to Ilford once a week to enjoy a good game indoors.
Yeah.
And then they'll go back and play regular at their outdoor venue. Which it's good that we have both, like, because sun's coming out. That's also exciting, isn't it? Like the summer's coming, and I think we will want to play outdoors more. So that's also why it's good to have the outdoor courts. But nothing beats an indoor venue, does it? It's just so much better.
You were right earlier when you said about people defending their clubs, because every single club I went to, apart from I think maybe Padel, because I didn't get to speak to many members, but every single club, they told me that their club was the best in the UK, without a doubt as well. There was no like, oh, maybe this one. It was always like, this is 100% the best.
Yeah, I feel like I've been sensible in the way that I want to defend Ilford, but I understand Square One is a great venue and it's got good facilities. Like, I
liked the effort they've gone into with all those extras. It was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It did look. I've never been, but it does look kind of. We should get a game there, maybe.
Yeah. I did think about maybe
for us
doing like a whole video there. Maybe when I go, use the gym, use the ice bath, go to the sauna, then play like a really big game. Maybe like you could play as well and have a really high level game, and that could be good. So overall, I think it's been quite a good research for me, and a few people have been messaging me that want to start their own clubs because they've watched it almost like a research purpose of what makes a good paddle club. So, Jake, from your perspective, working at Ilford, one of the best in the country, what is it about that club that makes it so good?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask, like especially with court manufacturers, like what's the best court to have, and I don't know much. Like
That's where I don't know anything about courts coming in glass. People asking me about that.
yeah, it's such a different topic for us. You know, we're your racket, and I'm more coaching and playing like and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think Ilford is one in a great area. Like I said it on the video, there's good parking. It's very rare that you get a paddle club. Like our one in Malden, and we're close to us, is very hard to park in. Like small car park.
Yeah, that would have got 1 out of 10 on my accessibility.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's difficult to get to, but Ilford's got great links into Ilford. It's got the good car park. It's got 12 courts, 6 outside covered, 6 indoors, singles. It's got a great like seating area with that as well. Like it's very rare that you go to a paddle club that has, you know, somewhere you can almost sleep. Like that's one thing good for me coaching a lot of hours. You get to just lounge eventually as well, which is nice. But I think with how paddle's growing, we need more centres like that. So it's also, I think people are like I was saying, people are excited to go there, like you said, as well. Like it's almost like a luxury to go there. So that's why it's also a really good venue.
Well, I said in the video as well, like for me, I've got Padiham, Stratford, obviously Malden, Chelmsford and Brentwood that I could go to. But Ilford is the one I always want to go to. And I've never really thought about why, but I've realised it's just because it is so nice there. I think that whole area by the cafe where you can all sit, you can see everyone just naturally goes there. Like there's seating throughout the whole club, but everyone sort of congregates there. At the tournaments, there's so many people watching. I think that's so important where everyone is together and then you build that community.
Yeah, and they've got a new one. I'm excited for Rocket Paddle Beckton, which is near the London City Airport, which is also a great area. So yeah, I'm excited for that. They're going to have similar facilities to Square One with an ice bath, a sauna, and a good gym as well. So
it's so good at the moment. All the clubs trying to one
compete
up each other. The amount of people as well that are talking to me and they're like, they want to make their club the best in the UK. So everyone's competing so well. Yeah. And it's making this, like my standard for clubs now is so high, especially visiting all of these. I'm like, the club doesn't have all of these things. I'm like, oh, it's average.
Yeah. It's so funny. We're almost like a little bit of paddle snobs.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
100%. Yeah, it's like you don't even have an ice bar.
Yeah, exactly. It's where we've come from in Malden. We used to have 3 courts outdoors, and I remember working there and having to push the rain off our kind of cafe. What's it called? Tarpaulin thing. And I remember pushing with a broom, pushing all the rain, just
falls off.
And now I'm thinking, wow, if this club doesn't have like, you know, perfect lighting, perfect roof, like oh my god, the roof's so low, it's like, oh, come on, guys.
Well, I think for me, I think one of the biggest factors though is you have to try and get the vibes, the atmosphere, and the community. I think that's so important because we like obviously I know it's not the same now at Malden, but maybe five years ago at Malden, I know there was a lot less competition, but it was one of the best clubs in the country because of the community. And you know, when you went to these tournaments, there were so many people there. You had friends and family turning up that didn't even play, that just wanted to watch, but also just enjoy the sun. Yeah, I think even the little touches, like you don't even necessarily need a really amazing cafe. You had like, remember Kev on the barbecue? But like there was that real like homely feel of it. Yeah. I think that's also important. So for a club that's maybe outdoors that doesn't have tons of investment and money, I think they've got to put so much effort into that sort of homemade community. Make sure you organise all these fun tournaments.
Well, I see Waltham Abbey, Jose and Alvaro, lovely guys, and it looks like they're doing a good job over there with the paella and paddle. Yeah, like that seems to be massive over there, and I hear a lot of people come over. It's like, oh, we do this paella and paddle thing. It's really good, and obviously you get to play paddle. So it looks like they're doing a good job with that. But yeah, the community is such a big part of paddle, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I think that's one thing that Ilford's doing well as well. is the community.
It's got
there.
the balance of both
Yeah,
luxury, but also good
there's
community,
a good community
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then. So yesterday I put on my Instagram to ask for some questions. So these questions are for me, but I figured we could both just answer them as well because I didn't want to announce the podcast yet.
Yeah.
So I've got tons of questions. So thank you for everyone to enter in these questions. Let's just go for them. So first of all, from Leo, we got, what sports did you play when you were younger?
Go on, you go first.
Okay, so for me, I played like a little bit of tennis when I was maybe 10 or 11. Like, I'm talking a couple of months.
Okay.
Like, you know, when your parents trying to get you to do a hobby, basically.
Yeah.
And then me and my dad played squash once a week, I'd say, for about 4 or 5 months.
When was that?
I'd say about a year before I played paddle.
Okay.
So that definitely helped a little bit. Like, I could hit a ball and then, you know, you do PE at school and that sort of thing.
And like badminton and stuff.
One thing with me that was always an issue was like technique has always been horrible, especially like when I first started. Like, you know, when you look at old videos, it's just absolutely horrendous. Go on, do you want to say about your sports?
Like I didn't play any sport to a high level. I played a lot of sport, but no racket sports. Played football, basketball. I was good at athletics, and that's.
So I feel like Leo's obviously just asked what sports did you play when you're younger, but I feel like he's trying to imply there what sports are helping paddle or have these sports given you advantage. Probably maybe looking, have you played 10 years of tennis before, which you haven't, which I do think is a bit of a flex. You can say you just learn all paddle technique basically from scratch.
Yeah.
Same with me. All of my technique just came from just grinding and learning it. I didn't just, I play tennis so I can do a smash and do a second serve. Like,
and it's also like,
that's one thing I'm jealous of people.
You're one of the first YouTubers to help people with their technique. Like I
had no idea what I was on about as well.
We didn't know Spanish. Like we couldn't watch YouTube. We couldn't, you know, there's people doing Spanish YouTube and it's like, you can kind of see, but we had to go to Spain to learn the proper technique, learn how to proper paddle, right? Like, so that was one thing. Like now, like yourself, like the paddle school are doing a good job of it, but like all things like that are all helping these kind of newer players come into it.
Yeah,
and
it definitely is a bit easier now. There's so much more information out there.
Yeah.
Before it was like, I remember watching a lot of people just play and just trying to copy their technique.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of guides, like, because even the paddle school back then, they barely had any videos. So I remember watching a video of Sandy doing a smash, and it was just like 5 seconds of one video, just trying to work out how he's doing it.
It was tough, but it was good fun. Like I think that was my favorite so far, like of all the years playing paddle. Like the first few where we would play, you know, every maybe Monday night, and it was like a mixing with one of our former coaches, Rich, who helped us massively. Like, so I think that was definitely my favorite years of paddle.
Yeah. Next one from Elliot. Best way to learn the smash. I've been playing 5 months now and can't get nowhere near decent at it. So I'll just say first of this, I think the smash is something that a lot of people, when they first start, myself included, you kind of underestimate. You think, it's easy. Like compared to maybe Bandeka, Vibra, Chiquita, because they sound very complicated, technical, but they're a lot easier to learn. The smash is one of the hardest shots for technique.
The topspin smash is difficult.
Yeah, unless you come from a tennis background. So, you know, he's been playing 5 months. I don't know if this guy's played racket sports before, but it's going to take a long time and a lot of practice.
Yeah, and it's like the one thing I would say is people are like, you can't, because I see a lot, you see like these 3 tips to help you smash. Like it's going to help you a little bit, but you can't, you need a basket, you need to practice. Like, you know, I had lockdown, lucky enough, where I was literally using a brick wall and just practicing that topspin technique against.
Well, that's perfect then. So, you know, his question being best way to learn the smash, unfortunately, it's not probably the answer he's looking for, which is like, just do this.
Yeah.
It is like one of them shots you just have to grind for. So we'd say maybe for the next like 3 months before every single game, you have to go and hit on your own glass, smash against your own glass.
Yeah.
Just get in the habit that if you have a moment, like look at someone like Stan. Stan's a young player that works with me. Any free moment he has, he will smash on his own wall.
Yeah.
So that naturally...
And that he's got a very good technique now.
Yeah, and it just compounds. You do that every single day for 3 months, your smash will be a million times better. So...
And have lessons.
Obviously,
like
have
your
lessons
local coach is going to be able to teach you how to hit a smash, right? Like the basics of it. So but you see a lot. The one tip I would say is you see a lot of people not taking it really high. Like the
Yeah.
smash, you have to reach for it. That's the only way you can hit a good smash, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good question though.
I think it's one final point on it as well. It's always a hard shot because you don't get a lot of opportunities to play it in the game. You might play an hour and a half game and only have maybe 5 to 8 chances to really go for it, compared to like a volley or a ground stroke. So that's why before or in between, you've got to do it on your own wall to build that up. Okay. Jamie says, how would you play with a partner where you didn't speak the same language? So I was wondering, have you ever played with someone that doesn't speak English?
Yeah, I play with Spanish people that don't understand
Any of it?
No, you've got to learn. Like, obviously, I speak the very minimum of Spanish, right? Like,
Yeah, but you can say tú instead
yeah,
of you.
yeah. Like, I mean, just have that discussion of like, because they're gonna speak something, right? Like,
yeah, surely they're going to know. Mine and yours is the one.
And it's like the more advanced commentary in a game is like, where are they on court, right? Like, I had to learn very quickly when I went to Spain, up and back.
Yeah.
Like, that was arriba and address, right? Like, and it's my pronunciation is terrible there, but as soon as you learn that, you're kind of good. So it's like,
Thing is, this is for Spanish, right? We don't have any answers if he says it's someone that's like from Romania or something.
yeah.
He doesn't speak any English. That is tough.
I think it's very rare. I don't know where you're playing. Someone rare that does.
Surely they've got to be Spanish. Like that would be.
Yeah, but where they. Yeah. I don't know where you'd be playing that they don't speak a little bit of English.
The main ones we said. So the main ones in terms of communication on the court is just mine or yours, and then if the opponent, when you've been lobbed, if the opponents are up or are they at the back?
Yeah,
that's
like tactics, you're just gonna have to ignore for one match, right?
There's
like But an interesting, funny bit I was talking about on the weekend. Everyone, when you go to these international tournaments, everyone speaks English. So it's like this arrogance of the English people have that, you know, me and Louis Harris, the number 4, I believe, or number 3.
One of the best in the UK.
Yeah, we went to this tournament in Netherlands, and all the refereeing is English. Everyone talks in English. Like,
and we wouldn't expect anything else.
No, and it's like, and it's funny how we're probably the worse, the not so good players in the tournament, and you're like, speak my language. you speak my language.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how like everyone has. That's why I'm so surprised that no one or that person doesn't understand a tiny bit of English.
I want to know more about that. I might message that guy.
Yeah, find out a bit more.
Sorry, can't help too much. Okay, final question. This was submitted by Jake Bewley, yourself, which is, you can play a tournament with any celebrity in the world. Who are you picking?
It's a great question.
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, because I know he likes paddle.
Really?
Favourite footballer for Liverpool for this season. See if he goes Madrid, obviously in the summer. But I'd love to play paddle with him. Yeah.
That would be cool. I was thinking of an answer myself, and I'm like, I don't really know, but I think it would be someone like Adam Sandler.
Really?
Like, just a weird, like, just something like that.
I think he'd be so good on court.
It'd be so fun.
It'd be great.
Like, it would be, he's one of my favorite actors, and I love how he's like so nonchalant, like with everything. So, no, I think it'd be cool. Or like, is it Paul Smith, the comedian?
Yeah.
Like, I bet it'd be terrible, but he'd be fucking hilarious, wouldn't he? So,
yeah. All right, guys. So that was episode 1 of the Everything Paddle podcast. Thanks so much for listening or watching. We are very new to this, so if you have any tips or feedback for us, just let us know in the comments below, or contact us via my Instagram or whatever. Also, let us know any topics you want us to cover or any questions you might have, and we can do a segment on it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.